everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna I'll tell you a little bit about what the book's about, and then I'm gonna read two separate sections. So, The Sun Is Also a Star is about a very poetic boy named Daniel, who is trying to convince a science-minded girl named Natasha to fall in love with him over the course of 12 hours in New York City. And they only have 12 hours because Natasha's family is being deported at the end of the day. It's really a story about connections and about all the things that connect us as people. I think in our lives, we get so busy and we think that we're so different, but we're not at all. There's more that holds us together than tears us apart. And so that's what I was trying to explore with this book is how can we stop and take the time to see that? Okay, so this is the prologue. Carl Sagan said that if you want to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe. When he says from scratch, he means from nothing. He means from a time before the world even existed. If you want to make an apple pie from nothing at all, you have to start with the Big Bang and expanding universes, neutrons, ions, atoms, black holes, suns, moons, ocean tides, the Milky Way, Earth, evolution, dinosaurs, extinction-level events, platypuses, Homo erectus, Cro-Magnon man, etc. You have to start at the beginning. You must invent fire. You need water and fertile soil and seeds. You need cows and people to milk them, and more people to turn that milk into butter. You need wheat and sugarcane and apple trees. You need chemistry and biology. For a really good apple pie, you need the arts. For an apple pie that can last for generations, you need the printing press and the Industrial Revolution, and maybe even a poem. To make a thing as simple as an apple pie, you have to create the whole wide world. Okay, so then I'm going to read another section, which is from Natasha's point of view, and it's when Natasha and Daniel, one of their first meetings, and she's calling him Red Tie because she does not want to call him by his name. Natasha. I don't tell a red tie the complete truth about what I would do with a time machine if I had one. I would travel back in time and make it so the greatest day of my father's life never happened at all. It is completely selfish, but it's what I would do so my future wouldn't have to be erased. Instead, I explain all the science to him. By the time I'm done, he's giving me a look like he's in love with me. It turns out he's never heard of the grandfather paradox or the Novikov self-consistency principle, which kind of surprises me. I guess I assumed he'd be nerdy because he's Asian, which is crappy of me because I hate when other people assume things about me, like I like rap music or I'm good at sports. For the record, only one of those things is true. Besides the fact that I'm being deported today, I am really not a girl to fall in love with. For one thing, I don't like temporary, non-provable things, and romantic love is both temporary and non-provable. The other secret thing that I don't say to anyone is this: I am not sure I'm capable of love, even temporarily. When I was with Rob, I never felt the way the songs say you're supposed to feel. I didn't feel swept away or consumed. I didn't need him like I needed air. I really liked him. I liked looking at him. I liked kissing him. But I always knew I could live without him. Red tie, I say? Daniel, he insists. Don't fall in love with me, Daniel. He actually sputters out his coffee. Who says I'm going to? That little black notebook I saw you scribbling in, and your face. Your big, wide open, couldn't fool anybody about anything face says you're going to. He blushes again because blushes is his entire state of being. And why shouldn't I, he asks. Because I'm not going to fall in love with you. How do you know? I don't believe in love. It's not a religion, he says. It exists whether you believe in it or not. Oh, really? Can you prove it? Love songs, poetry, the institution of marriage? Please, words on paper. Can you use the scientific method on it? Can you observe it, measure it, experiment with it, and repeat your experiments? You cannot. Can you slice it and stain it and study it under a microscope? You cannot. Can you grow it in a petri dish or map its gene sequence? You cannot, he says, mimicking my voice and laughing. I can't help laughing too. Sometimes I take myself a little seriously. He spoons a layer of foam off his coffee and into his mouth. You say it's just words on paper, but you have to admit that all those people are feeling something. I nod. Something temporary and not, something temporary and not at all measurable. People just want to believe. Otherwise, they would have to admit that life is just a random series of good things and bad things that happen until one day you die. And you're okay with believing that life has no meaning? What choice do I have? This is what life is. Another spoon of foam and more laughter from him. So no fate, no destiny, no meant for you, no meant to be for you. I am not a nincompoop, I say, definitely enjoying myself more than I should be. He loosens his tie and relaxes back into his chair. A strand of his hair escapes his ponytail, and I watch as he tucks it behind his ear. Instead of pushing him away, my nihilism is only making him more comfortable. He seems almost merry. I don't think I've ever met anyone so charmingly deluded, he says, as if I'm a curiosity. And you find that appealing, I ask? I find it interesting, he says. I take a look around the cafe. Somehow it's filled without me noticing. People line the bar waiting for their orders. The speakers are playing Yellow Ledbetter by Pearl Jam, another one of my favorite 90s grunge rock bands. I can't help it. I have to close my eyes and listen to Eddie Vedder mumble sing the chorus. When I open them again, Daniel is staring at me. He shifts forward so his chair is grounded again on all four legs. What if I told you I could get you to fall in love with me scientifically? I would scoff, I say, a lot.